Welcome, Spark. So what kind of Spark are you? Player? Creator? Or both? The stories yet to be told. The games to be made. Civilizations and societies to be formed. The universe is waiting for you to bring it to life. Now, how do we begin?
And we're live.
All right.
Hey, community.
How's it going, guys?
We're back for another Tuesday education stream. And this one's going to be a good one. Thomas is going to walk you guys through how to make a boss battle.
That is right. We'll see what we can do here and make a decent boss battle.
Yeah. So while Thomas is working on kind of arting up the stage, we're doing like a nice classic boss battle while he's working on arting that up. Let's talk through a few things going on in the community. We have the Community Game Jam currently going on, which is going to end on April 5th, so we're just a tiny bit away from that. Along with that, we have lots of Conquer stuff continue to come out. We pretty much every week will have new Conquer stuff to share, to tell people all about. And let's see, TU9, right.
Yes,
we have Title Update 9 is our next title update coming out. And
so it's about 2 weeks away.
Yep, we're looking at, nice, right up on the troll butt. We're looking at April 14th-ish area of it coming out. Obviously, we, it's all dependent on sort of when it gets through certification as per usual, but we're looking at around that area. TU9, our next title update, or version 1.09 of Project Spark, is going to come with the new user tour. So new users under level 5 will basically be directed through this tour that's going to show them kind of all-encompassing all the things that are going to be part of Project Spark. We'll talk about that more. It's basically going to show how to play, how to create, all these great things. If you are above level 5, then you'll never see it anyways because you know Project Spark. So most of our core community won't see it, but newer people will really enjoy it as kind of an on-ramp to get to where our community really is today. Along with that, we're going to have a lot of other really cool things coming along with TU9. We have a lot of nice things people have asked for, and some things people definitely won't expect coming with it. So we'll have a lot more.
It's a pretty nice update.
Yeah,
I'm really excited for what's in
there.
it.
It's not going to have like as huge of a feature. Besides, the tour is a really huge feature, but for the core creators, not as huge a feature as say Treasure Trove. But it's going to have lots of really nice additions to it that we're going to talk about as we get closer to it.
Exactly.
So with that said,
Game Jam stuff.
We talked about Game Jam.
Oh, cool.
The
Obviously, I'm paying attention.
Yeah, the creation people are making are pretty phenomenal in Game Jam.
I've started to play some of them now that we're pretty much getting like final products in because it's the final week and it's amazing. Really enjoying everybody's creation. So keep up the good work. Make sure you get those in by Sunday, April 5th. Is the last day.
Yep. So, how to make a boss battle.
Yes.
So, let me just talk through, we're going to build one type of boss. There's so many different types of bosses you can make, but just talking through kind of the main mechanics of a boss battle. The best way, if you want to make a good boss battle, the best way to do it is to start with something that's familiar and kind of follows the tropes of what you'd expect from boss mechanics. That way you can kind of get an understanding of how to set up a boss. Setting up bosses and having nice bosses is very different from setting up your usual enemy types.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that usually bosses have is they sort of have an invulnerability state, a weakness point that you have to exploit, and the power of 3, sort of like 3 times doing something is usually what will kill them.
Exactly.
So like it usually has this sequence of events that happen in order for you to get to a point where you can take on the boss and defeat them. And so we're going to be walking you through, or Thomas is going to be showing you kind of one of those potential things. We're going to be using the troll as the boss. This is more of the kind of tropotypical I think that's a word I just made up. But it's the tropotypical minion spawner boss. So this boss is going to spawn minions. You have to defeat those minions, then the boss comes out, and you have to, beat that boss every time it comes out 3 times, and after it has come out those 3 times, that 3rd time you're going to be able to destroy it.
Exactly. So I'm just setting up here the arena, and I'll jump into play and see what we're starting with. Let me get some of these little cheering. You have to have an audience if you're going to set up an arena.
Yeah.
So these are our audience here, these little goblin fiends. Mm-hmm. And we'll do one more right there. Okay, cool.
Yeah, but the really important part with boss battles is a boss isn't just an enemy that has higher health.
Exactly.
That's like the biggest thing. A boss is an enemy that has a sequence of specific challenges you have to go through in order to beat it. That's like the kind of quintessential thing of what makes a boss a boss. There's something where it's not just more health, it's a really challenging way, usually a new type of mechanic in order to beat them.
Exactly. It kind of challenges, usually, right, if you're going through like a dungeon mechanic and like you just awarded like a player like some like ability, whether that's like a new equipment item or like a new fireball attack or whatever it is. Usually the boss follow-up on that will be you have to use that in some way to defeat them too.
Right.
That's another constant. Yeah.
The Zelda way of doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
You get the new Zelda item, and then wait, I have to use this exact item I just got on this boss.
I have to use the grappling hook.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So this is the basic arena setup we have. You come in through these doors. We have the cheering goblins doing their praising and around, and then you got our nice boss here on an upper level that I don't know if we can jump. We can.
Yeah.
We would put an invisible barrier or make it higher.
Or just disable double jump.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. That's right.
Yeah.
We'll make it harder. So that is the setup here. We have just a regular third-person adventure brain right now in our character. Let's look at that. So there you go. And then on our troll, I actually inserted a page where he's just blank for now, but I did keep his normal behavior and his enraged behavior on other pages in case I want to grab those later.
And this is the default troll brain that Tom's is using.
Exactly. The enemy, I think it's in the gallery, is enemy enraged. Is that right?
Yeah, and it's actually really useful. It's that default brain is the closest we have of default brains to like the quintessential boss. It's not quite a boss because it doesn't have like stages of attacks. It's more of just a hard enemy, but it's getting there. So that's the default brain that comes inside the troll itself.
Exactly. Oh, in the default character.
Yeah, in the default troll character.
Didn't know if it was in the gallery or not. Okay, perfect. So first thing that we want to cover is, so part of an epic boss battle, right, is just the environment itself and the setting and like starting the battle. So the way we're gonna think about that is you enter this arena and your first thing is, oh my gosh, there's this troll here and a battle's about to go down, and that's what you have to communicate to the player, like, get ready, it's gonna be intense. So first thing that we're gonna do is when you come through this door here, we're gonna set up a trigger zone. That'll be a good way to do it. Let's go in property, brain, sensors. We're gonna display, make that true, and that's gonna pop up a trigger zone. So you can see that right here. All right. Let's lift that up. So when the player is going to enter this trigger zone, as they come through the door, we're going to make sure this is wide enough here. Don't need to change that.
Yeah. And getting to community question, what do the stars mean near the brains in the brain gallery? The stars are kind of the difficulty level of that brain. If it uses lots of different,
advanced it is.
Yeah. If it uses lots of different lines of code, then it's kind of more difficult for more kind of advanced intermediate users. And if it's something that's 1 star, that means beginner users will understand that brain setup. It's like a good example is our enemy brain only uses 8 lines of code, so that's like a perfect thing for beginners to understand how that works.
All right. And so now we've got the trigger zone set up, and you can see just from there you can like resize it, rotate it however you want. So whenever the player is going to enter that space, we're going to have something happen. So we're going to go and find our sensors, and in trigger zone. So we're going to do when in trigger zone player. We're going to have something happen, and we don't need that. We're going to set this cutscene up. That's what we're going to do. We're going to take control away from the player for a second and introduce this new boss. So we're going to just create a new Boolean that's going to set this off. We'll just say cutscene.
And just an important thing to note here, especially if you're building a more complex game, player, that tile right there on line 3 refers actually to an object set of anything that has a control input. So if you have, say, just a little rock that you press A and it jumps, and you have your regular character, then those are both counted as players. So that's now going to be looking at sort of anything that has an interaction that comes within in the trigger zone. It's going to set that off. So that works here, and it probably will work even in a more complex game. Oh, okay. But that's just something to keep in mind. If you ever use player and you're like, why are all these things running? It's because player refers to more than one object.
Yeah, a lot of times, like I've seen, you'll have people like do these like logic cubes and things that are around their players. That they have input, they want to code it separately and like have that input in there. But that logic cube is now going to be counted as a player if you have any input like in there. So you just have to keep that in mind. However you end up integrating that in your game. So we're going to trigger that Boolean now, and then several things are going to happen when that Boolean goes. And we're going to make this global because we're going to have very different things reference it.
Cool.
All right. And
so
we could do that. We could put the logic. We'll do a logic cube. We'll keep it out separate and clean.
Here, I can do that for you.
Oh, you're so nice. Tag team.
Okay.
Logi. That's what we should call them, logis.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to put this logic cube here, and this will just be our logic cube for doing this scene. So when global cutscene, and if so if you just leave it like when equals global cutscene, that means when it is in fact true. You can also say when is equal true, but that's extra. But it does make it easier to read, so it's whatever you want to do on that. So when that is true, we're going to do a couple things. First, we're going to make sure these only run once with a started tile. And we're going to go to brains here, and we're going to do, I actually like brain is active equals false. And we're going to make sure that is set onto the player.
So you're making it so no lines of code will run in the player with that line.
Exactly.
Now.
I'm deciding, I'm taking control away from the player at this point. And this, anything that's in there, so the camera too, it turns it all off, which is important for a cutscene.
Right. Yeah, because like the very important thing with a boss battle is every boss battle needs to have a cutscene. It needs to start with a cutscene because that's what makes a boss battle. You have a cool intro scene, and it kind of emphasizes the fact that this is a new thing. Get ready for it. If you just have sort of you're walking and you just have a boss standing there and everything automatically starts, then it kind of takes away from the impact and also the understanding that this is a boss scene.
Exactly.
So it's just something to definitely keep in mind.
All right, so we're going to go to cutscene, turn off the brain. We're going to put a letterbox on so that makes it into more of a cinematic feel. So those are going to drop down. And then we need our camera in the world that we're going to be looking out of. And actually, you can do any object as the camera. I always just stick with the gizmos in there. So it tells me where their camera is.
Yeah.
And the way I want this to work is I want to actually like transition from my character's camera over to this one. And we're going to have this nice angle. Let's see here. We're going to go
looking right up at the boss.
Yeah, and we want a perspective of like being awed by its like, how big it looks. So we're going to put that there. And on this guy, all we need to do is a first-person camera. And
without controls, right?
Yes, without controls. All right.
And then make that run only when that global variable starts.
Yes. Global variable. Perfect. And we also want to say transition easing. And we want ease to.
Oh yeah, and transition tiles are really nice with cameras. People should use them more often. What they do is they have this nice automatic transition that'll happen when one camera stops working and another one starts working, so it kind of moves between them. Feels kind of cinematic.
And so we have that there. And let's see if we can sneak peek at the placement. So that doesn't look like right.
That's not that
preview.
Object. Yeah.
Oh. There we go.
There we
That's
go.
not too bad.
That's looking good.
Yeah. See how that turns out. And then what we need to do is after that transition happens, we need to make sure this variable decides to like turn off. So we're gonna go duration timer or countdown timer, and we'll say after 5-6 seconds. You think? Is that enough time?
Yeah.
We'll see. Countdown timer. We're gonna turn global cutscene off. And we're gonna make sure.
Do you want the player to also get into the arena? Oh, he has to walk through the door first, so he's already in there. Cool.
Yep, he'll be in there.
Mm-hmm.
And we can get fancier. Like this is actually. So what we can do is
bring it so he has to get a bit further in there,
and then make sure the door stays shut behind him.
Yeah, good point. Because there's no escaping.
Mm-hmm. And then when he's in there, we're gonna set that to true, and then we'll say when global cutscene, we'll do this. And that should work. Oh, well, that'll only do for the cutscene. So let me do.
Probably just what you could just do is once global cutscene that just switches to page 2, and nothing's running on page 2, so it can't open again. And you can switch it back to page 1 when the boss is done.
Exactly, that's a good idea. Switch page. Switch page.
Page switching is pretty awesome in Project Spark.
It's super powerful.
Put certain lines of code on one page, put other lines of code on the other page, and then have nice switching between pages to have only certain things run at certain times.
Exactly. So we're going to do that, switch that over, and then we'll say, we'll leave that for now, we'll go back to this. And I just want to make sure that it is powered off on here.
When page enter, power off.
You don't want it to run every single frame? Page entered. All right, there we go. Perfect. Okay, let's test this. There we go, it opens up.
Look at that. Look how cinematic that is.
And 5 seconds is a little long.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do, and then the other thing we can do here.
Let's give that guy, make him start
emo.
taunting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We'll do cut down, we'll do duration 4 on here. And we'll do, and we'll have him eat up.
You want to go to
Appearance, right?
Yeah, under appearance, but here I can just type it in. There you go. Bam.
And we'll do a taunt.
Taunt? Yeah. You want to change that also to probably countdown timer 3 and make the overall countdown timer 5? I play around way too much with pacing.
You do. That is like the number one thing you've been working on.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. Let's try that guy. Enters. You see him there. And then transition. We'd probably start it a little bit sooner. But that's pretty much setting it up at that point. And then we want to make sure we kick in the troll and then like actually start the battle.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do 2 on here instead. 2. Alrighty. Perfect.
And you probably actually want to put the trigger zone a bit more in the world because I saw at the end the camera ended up behind that bridge.
Zone.
Yeah. Here you go.
Perfect. Cool. Alright, and then once this happens and the cutscene ends, we're also going to say create a new boolean and we're going to call it stage 1. So this is starting the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, jumped up there. And we'll also make these global. Equals true. Okay, perfect. So this guy, we're gonna not want him to do anything to begin with. We're just gonna have him sit there and do nothing. And we're gonna actually insert another page here. And let's name that page. Okay. They do both of them? That's interesting. Anyway.
You're still on page 1 right now.
Yeah. Stage. This one on here. I need to have it switch over here. I need to have him switch his brain.
Yeah, you actually called the brain stage 1.
Oh no!
Not the page, I think.
Switch page, and we'll just do next page. And that's when global. Stage 1.
You're on page. Okay.
One's fine.
Yep.
That. Yep.
Okay.
I just need to rename page. That's the brain. No stage. What page? No, I don't want to do that one.
Go to the bottom. No, you're renaming the brain.
I know. I want to fix it.
Okay. Okay.
It's gonna bother me the whole time.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. There's that. Page 1, we don't want to name. Page 2, we do. Stage 1.
Cool.
There you go. All right, perfect. Alrighty. So now the fight's gonna get started, and he's gonna be on there. Am I loud on the keyboard? I'm sorry. I'm probably slamming it.
Our keyboard's super loud.
It's just I press really hard too. Although I don't know as much as Zach. Zach was like
Zach
on the other end. I was like, holy man! He's like
yeah. When Zach does our tutorials on his keyboard, everyone's like, my ears. Mm-hmm. So he started actually learning to do it with controller. It's dedication to Spark.
Right. Yeah.
He's always like, I'm never gonna learn a controller. But then he learned controller.
So for the first stage, what we want to do is not actually have you engage with the troll directly. He's going to basically throw some of his minions at you and kind of like cannon fodder, like get you, like, realize you're back in combat, and it'll get you ready for it. I was trying to watch chat, see if they're...
Oh, no, yeah.
Okay, this guy is going to be our tossing.
Mm-hmm.
And when you ever have a projectile kind of object, or you're creating them, you want to make sure they're a template. So we're going to have him there.
And yeah, Tom's is going to set up so the troll literally throws minions.
That is what we're going to do. So in stage 1 here, the main thing is we're going to have him throw. And I'm going to set up the timing and how many he does all that too. So throw Goblin Bruiser at... We're going to just pick the hero here. And we want to make sure... So when I was testing this world, I had to go back and fix this, but whenever you're throwing something, it's always going to have a lifetime variable before it disappears from the world. So like if you shoot an arrow, I think the default's like 5 seconds or something, and then it'll disappear after that point. These guys, I want them to stay alive until the player kills them. So I'm going to go and make a lifetime here, and I'm going to just arbitrarily pick a ridiculously high number, and if somebody plays my game that long and sees them all disappear, then there you go. That's a lot. Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna have him throw the Goblin Bruiser at the hero, and what we want to do, I was playing around with where he throws like 2 at first, kind of test the waters, and then he throws like 4, so you have like the mob that comes after. So I think we're gonna do that. I kind of like the feel of that. So we're gonna do a new variable, and I'm gonna just do minion counter. But this is, I'm going to set the total amount of ones I want him to throw. So once minion counter equals, and we'll do like 6, because we'll do 2 and then 4. All right. And what we're going to do is we don't want him to throw like really, really fast, so we need to slow that down a little bit. So we're going to do a countdown timer 2, do every like 2 seconds, and we're going to loop that. And let's say we're going to do when minion counter is greater than or equal to... We're going to
less than or equal to?
No, we're going to do greater than.
Greater than, okay.
And what we'll do to make sure he throws... we're going to make that just for 4 seconds. So that should have him throw 2 right off the bat. And we'll also make sure it triggers on the start. And we're going to copy this guy. And we'll say when is less than or equal to 4, the duration timer. We're actually not going to worry about that time. And then every single time he throws one of these, we're going to make sure that, oh, this should be started, I think, too. Started. So when he throws these, we want to make sure that counter comes down. So we're going to decrement that by 1 every time he tosses one. Perfect. And what we're going to do is on our minion here, who we're tossing, we're going to say when he is dead, started to, so it only runs once. We're going to say that our troll minion counter goes down, or we're already doing that. So I actually don't want to do, let's see here.
Oh, no, you want to have probably 2 different setups, right? You're looking at how many he throws, and then also after
the actual
die,
how many, yeah.
So you probably want to have like minion
that's right.
deaths.
Yeah, and we're going to do this differently. We're going to do once, and we're going to make a object set, actually. So when he exists in the world, we're going to actually have this object set. And we're going to make sure that he's a part of it, so that this allows the boss to keep track of how many minions he has at a time. So we're going to say once, minions increment by me.
You probably want to make that
global. Yep.
Yeah. All object sets should pretty much always be global.
I've
never run across an object set that is not.
Okay, there we go. And if that's the case, then on here, what we want to do instead of, let's see, when minion counter goes, he's going to only toss the 2. And then when this happens, and we're going to set this when global, let's see here, global object set we're looking for, when that equals count, is what I'm looking for, count. Okay.
So you wait till they're all despawned, and then he does stuff.
Yep. So he'll throw these, and then once those 2 end up dying, then it'll trigger this once the counter goes down, so he'll have 4 left, and then he'll throw all of those. And then what we'll do is we'll say, and we'll do this again, equals 0. And we're going to say switch page. And this is going to get us into the next stage.
Awesome.
Okay, let's see if this actually works.
Yeah.
Alright. So open this up, and we're going to trigger the fight. There goes the cutscene.
Yeah,
He's not very
powerful.
happy. Alright, and here we go. There's one. Throw one more at me. Nope.
Let's see if there's more.
It's probably not, because it's
yeah,
still the counter.
Yep.
Okay, so he's only throwing 1, so let's take a look at that.
Remove started to.
Oh, that makes, yeah. We'll just put it on this one, because I only want that to go once.
Well, actually, if it's looping, it only actually runs 1 frame.
Oh,
yep.
Cool. Even on a countdown timer?
Yep, because when you loop,
that's
loops
right.
and it runs for just 1 frame.
That's true, because then it repeats.
And you need to remove started 2 for the second wave of goblins too. Here you go. That should do it.
Boom. I want, when I am like making stuff at home, you want to just be over my shoulder. You'll save me so much time.
Well, I just had to like really experiment a lot with what runs for 1 frame, what doesn't run for 1 frame. So it's
super important.
It's really important because then it allows you to kind of not write as much code. There you
Okay,
go.
there's 2, and then he should not throw anymore. Alright, he sits there. So there's 2, and then he's going to throw 4 at me now.
Just kidding.
Just kidding! Let's see if he'll do anything after I play this one.
Oh, interesting. Oh, you know why? He's waiting every time for you to kill that one, and then it's like now that it's 0, I can throw another one.
Exactly, because I have it like saying once it's 0, but I want it to like start. Well, in that case, what I can do is I can just make a new Boolean.
Exactly.
Right. And I'll call it wave 2. And we'll set that equal to true.
And then, bam.
Dun, 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 dun. And then we'll make sure, just in case weird stuff happens, we want to make sure this goes back to being false.
That's true. Always good to cover your bases if you don't know what's going to happen.
Always turn. If you're going to open a variable, you want to make sure you turn it off too. Like,
yeah, just always good. Destroy that object that has that local variable or stop the local variable.
Mm-hmm. I definitely always have an exit strategy on everything because if you have something that's continually running like more than often or not, it's going to cause problems. So always open and close in like the short window that you need it, basically.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if this works. Everybody in chat following along. I want to make sure I'm not anything that I need to go over and explain really quick. Power of 99,000. Okay, 2. Okay, that's the one side. Okay, there we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh, he hit the one. He hit one of his buddies.
Oh no!
Ah!
Because you're not looking at
the counter now.
Counter anymore. So
I have to state
the counter though. No, just keep it going.
Okay. Let's see. Wave 2. So on this one, every single time.
So you want to have them still under minion less than or equal to 4. There you go.
Boom. I needed to keep that one with me.
Yep.
All right. Last time. This is gonna work. Believe in me. Okay. I can't believe that camera placement worked out like the very first time I dropped it. That never happens.
Yeah, usually cameras are things that like you end up tweaking and spending a lot of more time with.
All right, let's see if we get an endless run here.
Will we do 5? Oh, you did 5.
Do 5.
Look at how it's. You're not setting a constant for. It's just knowing to continue. You need to actually say that also when minions less than or equal to 4 and greater than 0.
Oh, it's just going less than. And where's and minion counter is greater than 0. Boom. Okay.
There you go. You weren't constraining it before. You're just constraining the top end of it, not the bottom. So
That's
top
right,
end says
we had the
start
top
now.
for the trigger. And we didn't have
so top end says start now. Now the bottom end. Now you have a bottom end that says end at this point. So before you didn't have that end at this point.
Yep. Okay. So now that should all work. I'm gonna do stage 2 now before we keep doing that over and over again. All right. So stage 2. Now we're gonna actually engage with the boss, and we're gonna kind of do a weak point. Or we're gonna introduce the player to that. So stage 3 is gonna happen, and we're gonna trigger over here. Let's see, stage 2. Let's do another page because we need to have him do the nice leap and everything.
Yeah.
Rename page here. Okay. And we're gonna say when page entered. A lot of times, I think for brevity on this, we're not going to do cutscenes between all the different stages, but a lot of times like there'll be a cutscene to highlight what's different or changed, or like, you know, with this like epic jump down now, you know, it like take control back away and like show him come down and be all angry. But I don't think we're gonna do another cutscene between them. So page entered, and we're gonna say we're gonna have him jump, and we're gonna say jump, and we're gonna also have him. Let's see here. Page entered. Just have him move forward.
So do like a countdown or a duration timer of 1 second. Move forward, and that'll have him like jump while moving forward. But
I
not
can't put it under
not
page
under
entered because that runs only once.
Yeah. So I think what you're gonna have to do.
Just a page duration.
Well, no. I think jump was fine because then he's gonna just jump once.
Mm-hmm.
So you wanna.
Exactly. So you. Right, that should work. Move forward. If I can get the position.
Get out of that one. There you go.
And directions forward. Okay.
But set a duration timer of like 1.
Isn't it just default 1? Oh yeah.
No, it's. And then switch after countdown timer. Switch page. Countdown timer 1, then switch page.
Oh, to this one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Alrighty. And started, and we'll do switch page after the leap. Switch page. Next page.
So that has it. It's going to the very first frame and then switch to the next page.
Exactly. And then at that point, we're going to be...
but no, so he's not actually going to move. He's going to just do those 2 things for 1 frame, so he's not actually going to move forward.
Oh.
You want to have that actually separate of all of that? You want to have that outside?
Just on a separate countdown timer?
Yeah, exactly. I just set that as a separate countdown timer.
Yep.
Here you go.
That makes sense.
Because if something moves for 1 frame, it's going to move 0.01 meters. So it wouldn't be too effective.
Let's see if this is going to look okay when he's throwing something. We'll find out. We'll just do once.
Now he goes here.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is have him jump into the arena and engage, and we're going to just keep with his like normal behavior. So what we're going to do here, and the one thing I want to make sure I turn off is his enraged. Let's see, so all of this enrage and not attacking equals switch. So we're going to do this easy. We're just going to ignore that. And I want to see in his brain where he turns on the... When he has it... Okay, so when he has an enemy, after 7 seconds, he's, like, able to become enraged. That's, like, what that's saying.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to turn this guy off, too.
Actually, you could use that and to say after 7 seconds, he jumps back up onto the pedestal.
Ah, I like that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
See, you can use that stuff to your advantage.
Yeah, but let's change that variable then. We're gonna say let's do. If I could type. And what we'll do then is when you turn to platform. We'll have to have like a different page there for that too.
Right.
Brain, switch page, and we're gonna just do next page for right now. Next page, okay. And on this one, we're gonna insert a new one. There you go. Okay, let's kind of see how this looks. Let's just see if he'll jump down and do all how we want to. Enter the arena. He has the cudgel now.
He's so big, it's like a little toothpick now.
It's like, yeah, it's small, like default size. Okay, so there's the 2. This better only have 4 people. See, and you can combine just even with the normal.
Oh, there you go.
Whoa, and he's not happy. So that worked out pretty well.
So now you have like 7 seconds basically to attack him.
Although he's not gonna see that's him switching right there. Now he's back to having an empty brain.
Right.
So that's when he goes back to. So he has 7 seconds.
And so I can set it up so that he. Maybe we should do in typical boss fashion.
Did that and then
Actually, here I was thinking of something else. I can show you something with raycasting.
Ooh.
So first, actually, maybe in good old boss fashion, he's hit once, then he retreats. So you have to like hit him 3 times. So it's like sort of he comes down and you just have.
And then he engages and then he's like, oh, and he jumps up and he throws people back at.
So we could just do
that makes
here. Instead, when started to hit by attack, should be under here. Then return to platform. Now here we do when. Well, actually no, we don't have to do that. Just do move towards
that logic cube.
This little guy.
You just have to make sure he jumps like appropriately.
Yes. So that's how you can use some raycasting. So he moves.
Oh, when he comes up in
cube.
his terrain, he'll jump.
Yeah, we're gonna set a minimum distance of let's just say 0.15. I like to have like a tiny bit of distance, or else he like tries to continue to move directly to the center of it. So then we can just look at raycasting. Raycasting is this awesome tool that allows you to basically kind of draw a line from one object to another and look at when it hits something. So what he's going to do is basically he's going to look for when he starts hitting terrain, and then he's going to know that, and then he's going to jump as soon as he hits terrain. So we're going to do raycast hit, direction forward. We're going to set a length of just 1 meter. And so this is saying once he's detected that there is a hit on some sort of surface that's a meter away from him, then he is going to jump. And I don't know how high he's going to jump, but let's just assume that it's high enough.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
And then so now we can say when the distance to that logic cube is less than, let's say, 0.3, just because I have that available.
You can go back to stage 1, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Then we can do.
You don't need to reset the minion counter back to
switch
6.
page. Then when you want to go to a specific page, you go to text. But here, you go to stage 1. Bam. All back to you. Hopefully that works.
Very cool. That makes sense. I like that. And then we'll make sure that minion counter goes back down up to 6 equals 6 again. Resets it. And we'll do the same thing. 6. Okay, and I can't remember if I had that at global or not. Nope. Okay. Let's see if what we just did works.
Yeah. I think it will.
Enter. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, and I kept it simple because he's just going to continue to jump until he's no longer raycasting. So you're probably going to see him multi-jump. We could change that by just changing his jump height, so he jumps super high. Like he leaps back onto it, basically.
Like a 1 jump kind of.
Yeah.
Let's see what the game we should work on next.
Goblin Punch?
Yeah.
That's true.
Boom. Okay, there he goes.
So hit him once. Then. Oh, it's raycasting from too high. Oh, shoot.
Like here.
Yeah.
You could just do.
First, set it so that it's a distance of 2 instead of 1.
Let's see where you have
next page.
This one.
Okay. There you go. Raycast forward length 2. And then also set the from point.
Okay.
From center. So go over to position, center.
There
yeah.
You go.
Okay. That should work better.
Alright, let's go troll. You got nothing. One adjustment we can make just for making it a little bit nicer is that he's always like turning toward the player, so it's like attention's on you.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Punch him.
When he's up there.
Oh.
Okay.
Now he's all scared.
Jump.
No.
Hit his butt.
So why is he not?
Okay. We can do.
So like when you're working with raycasting, the nice thing is you can do debug by doing draw.
Exactly.
Or you also
you didn't tell it to hit terrain.
Yeah, you could set it to terrain. It should automatically look for
for whatever it's
terrain.
hitting.
But yeah, you could set it just for terrain. So like terrain when a raycast it direction forward, length to.
Let's see here, and let's just make sure movement jump. Like 4. 50. Okay. Try one more time.
Default though, you shouldn't need to set for terrain or objects. It should just kind of raycast hit with all of those
anything.
things.
Yeah, that's only if you're. And there's actually an update in our update coming out that makes it say terrain only or objects only, as opposed to just saying terrain. So to clarify that, like you're making it more specific for what it's looking for. You do like a nice little effect, or like he could like break up the terrain, or you can get really fancy with it.
All right, so let him actually do his raycasting.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I just wanted to beat him up.
All right, we'll look at his.
I mean, we could just do something like super simple. Like...
Well, try setting his distance actually like 4, length to like 4, and I noticed it's actually too high. So I noticed it was too high. Length should be like 3 instead of 2.
This one? Or
No,
length
should be here. I can. I think I know what to do with it. So let's set length 3, and then I'm actually going to do it from its socket position.
Okay.
So center's too high. This guy is just.
It's like.
So what I want to do is I want to do it from his knees. So let's just do it from like his left knee.
There you go. He took an arrow to the knee. Oh, I didn't even point out. Was it drawing the raycast? I didn't look to see that.
Yeah.
It was too short.
I think they're
like all like
they're we have to set their up to be whirled up
also. Oh, because like after they get thrown, they're like confused.
All right, so punch him once. Let's see.
Retreat.
Yeah,
yes!
There we go. It was just too high. All right, so now he's back.
I mean, he's like in throwing position.
Yeah, he's back in throwing position, but he doesn't have anything to throw because he's switching back to page 1, but we're not setting his counter back.
Oh, I thought I said that. Let me see. 3.
So that's on the wrong page.
The variable goes
wait.
across, right?
Yeah.
So let's see what we're doing here. Stage 1, right? You put him back on? Stage 1. Okay, so stage 1, meaning counter equals 6. When it's greater than 4, duration, and this should start again.
Yep, that's all looking good.
So let's see why he's not. Interesting.
Let's see something. Go back to that page and have win distance to logic cube is less than 3. Turn towards player.
This one right here when he's switching?
Yeah, put like another line above that.
And, okay. So you turn him toward
and you set like a duration timer there of like half a second. And then put a countdown timer of 1, and then yeah.
Okay. When distance equals less than 3.
So at least, so he's going to turn towards the player now. So at least we'll be able to see if that happens.
I wonder if he like gets there and then he like immediately like falls out of that distance again, and so like it before it even gets to the point. Interesting. Okay. Go.
And so the nice thing is, you know, we're spending a lot of time on getting through stage 1, but we're setting it up in a way where you basically
There's actually
just,
multiple stages.
right, you just cycle through those pages again and kind of reset them so he throws more minions the next time and he's a bit stronger and more enraged the next time that he comes down.
Yep, you'd be able to trigger like different effects on him, you know, turn him like different colors. Oh, there he goes. Jump up there.
Ah,
See
so
how
he's not
he-
getting
yeah.
close enough.
Yeah, he like gets there and then he like
Oh, you know why? Because he's so big.
that his distance is never like
Yeah, his distance, he never like quite gets there. So you want him, he's so big, you probably distance to Logic Cube is like,
1.
yeah.
Why not? Oh, they kind of like slightly rotated.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, so you not pay attention. He's gone with her swarming. Okay.
Ah, he still needs to be closer. Interesting.
Yeah. And yeah, see how he slows?
Uh-huh.
That's interesting. There's his like ray casting.
So we can also just say, there's another thing we can do. Instead of detecting his distance, we can just detect when he's no longer moving.
Mm-hmm.
And then he does that.
That's a good idea.
So like, instead, when no longer moving, set a Boolean to be true, and then when that Boolean is true, then he does the other stuff.
When
Go back, movement events, yeah. So when not moving,
and not moving.
then
That
have
would work, right?
nope. Well, not quite, because as soon as he
turns,
turns,
is turning considered movement?
I think so. We can test it anyways. The other thing that we can do, well, actually, I guess the best way to do it is like put a Boolean there and just say like when not moving, then this Boolean becomes true, and then when that Boolean becomes true, then started to minion counter equals 6, turn towards hero, all that stuff.
Yeah. Let's see if this works.
Wait, the other thing, so I want to show how the goblins, like, how they're rotated, how to fix that also.
That's a good idea. Well, we would just go over here.
Uh-huh.
And we would make sure that this character is up position. Up direction, I should say. Up direction equals to the world up.
Yeah. So that's like something, if you're ever playing around with like physics or interesting things or like throwing
stuff will get weird fast.
So if you ever like have something that just isn't like just kind of bent in the world or just in a weird way, just set up to equal world up and then you kind of fix most of your problems.
Exactly. I'm going to do this page to turn. We're going to actually not do it on a separate page. We'll just make sure. See, stage 1 is when he's tossing him, right? We're going to make sure he's facing toward the player. And that should just keep him like where he's like tracking the character through.
Mm-hmm.
And stage 2 is when he jumps. That's not correct, but Alright, let's see if this goes.
So he does his nice growling.
So you'll notice that he tracks me now through the arena.
It's a bit more natural.
Yep, looks like actually correct. That's a good time. Yeah. When he's throwing, it looks more like.
Someone suggests if you want weird, set the goblins to tumbling when they're in the air. They'll just like flop around. Yeah, that would be pretty funny.
Ah, yes! Yes! So now what we should happen is he does the same thing, right? He threw 2, and then as long as we reset everything, he's gonna throw 4 now. And then we have him basically in an endless loop right now.
Yeah.
And what we can do is set a timer, so after 3 times he does this, or like you do it twice, and then rather than switching to his enraged, or his normal page, we'll switch over to like his enraged.
Oh, because he was hit by the attack already.
Oh, there you go. That was a fast turnaround.
So it remembered.
Yeah. Let's see if we can get that in real quick. Okay. So let's say...
Ensville Game once said.
Okay. So let's do when this page...
No one's just someone said to me. But I do like to talk in shorthand.
Entered, and we're gonna do. This is actually a good way of doing it too. You can do like a, rather than how we have it set up. Oh, I'm sliding everything everywhere. You can do it like this. And we're gonna do. We'll do it like this, where stage actually.
Increment by 1. Then you have when stage equals 1, something happens. When stage equals 2, something happens.
So what exactly? And that's like a good way of doing it too. Stage equals 1. Okay. So when he comes back to it, so the first time he comes through, we're actually going to do stage 0 here. So when he comes in here, he's going to be on stage 1, and then we come back, it'll be stage 2. And we could like change like what the minion counter is. So he like tougher, we could change what he's throwing. So like harder, different goblin assemblies. I mean, that would actually be pretty easy to do. One thing here, what we can do is, let's see, where is when he switches page? So what we'll do is when stage... So stage 1, it'll be 1, and then let's say when stage equals 1, we're going to do next page, but then when stage equals 2, and where is enrage?
So we want to switch to the enraged behavior stage.
And where is my...
Oh, no, actually, you want to put it on the next page. Because the next page he jumps off, he leaps off.
Oh, that's a good point. So we want to keep that. Good call. That's correct. And so countdown timer 1. This is when we're going to do this. 1. This will be next page. If you're going to go and do something like more specific and know exactly, I always prefer to use like pages by text and call pages by text. Because you'll want to be like inserting pages in different places, and if you just keep using next page and stuff, it can kind of get lost, but
yeah,
it's quicker. So it just kind of depends on what you're doing. Enraged behavior. Okay.
And then in enraged behavior, we just want to set it so when he's hit, oh, he dies. When he hit, because like that would be the last one. Like he's super powerful, and so...
and we don't want him to switch out of it.
Yeah.
And attack. When hit attack.
Do kill?
Yeah.
Under combat?
Is it create? Or
No,
it's
just
destroy?
because that's destroying. You don't want to destroy him. You want to have his like killing animation.
Kill me. Boom. Okay, let's see if that works. I put that under the right page, right? I wanna make
Yeah.
sure.
Also, go back to the regular page. We want to switch something out with instead of hit by attack to switching to. Let's see. Mind if I take control for one
Yep.
sec?
So will it remember that then? So that's what you're trying to fix, right?
Yeah,
Where he just
exactly.
immediately went back.
So we want to go. Let's see. Yeah, boots in here. So return to platform. When started hit by attack, return to platform equals true. So return to platform continues to be true. So when we're on this page, we just simply want to say.
See, I failed my own exit strategy. Kept it running.
Exactly. This is why this is why you always want to like look at those variables you have running, make sure they're closing. So bam.
Mhm.
Now he won't switch out.
Okay, let's see how this turns out. How are you doing, on? A little over. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Spam that fireball. I have it this person. I think at that point, before I hit them once, they're still considered a projectile or something.
Yeah, they are. Mhm.
That's what's happening there. Boom,
Comes
there he
down
goes.
at
Boom.
once. Oh, I'm retreating. I want to go back.
Boom. Okay, and here we go. I mean, he's gonna do 4. Seemed like if I was doing it, like I would probably do, I could, on the first stage, like a mix of 2 different goblins. Like you do bruisers and scavengers, and then on this one you could do some of like the more powerful like assembly goblins. So like this battle is actually like difficult in itself. And here
So
he goes,
now-
and he's
yeah.
enraged. Yes, he just needs to get off the platform. He's huge.
Yeah, I
that
know.
joint. What? Ah! And let me go punch him in the knee.
Can you beat him?
Ah.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yes.
Oh, you can pick up his sick. Huge
Yes!
oh my god, it's so huge.
Ah! You've been taunting me this whole time. Ah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So we've gone ahead and built the first 2 stages, and it's sort of up to you to take these lessons learned and instead of killing it on his enraged stage, build your own 3rd stage. Building that kind of like the power of 3 idea, where it takes 3 hits to kill, is a nice way to start, and it's a nice way to make your own boss mechanics.
I took his throne. Now, I'm now master of this arena for the
Yeah.
next person who comes in. You want to go? So, yeah. No, that turned out really good. Yeah, you would want to probably put another stage in there to make it 3. But pretty good. And it's a nice combination of, like, I like ads a lot, and it's kind of a lot of, do that where there's, like, additional enemies that get kind of created. But it doesn't have to be like that at all. You can do any kind of, mechanic. There's a lot of boss fights, too, that are based on, like, an environmental goal. So, there'd be, like, he could be up here and he's just throwing rocks at you, and then in order to get him to react, you have to get to a place in the arena to, like, pull a lever, or, maybe flush him down something.
Yeah. So the last thing to end on is, you mind if I quickly run through, like, lickety split 1 minute, kind of the code review? Someone,
course.
Faultless Guy in Twitch brought up that idea as this would be a good thing for YouTubers also to kind of spend some time with. So the basics of what was created is you first have this door, and when this door detects the hero, it starts this global cutscene. And that was the very first kind of intro cinematic we had playing. And what we had going on was Logic Cube, which kind of set what happens during the cutscene. So this Logic Cube just made the heroes. You're not able to move them during the cutscene. It has this nice letterbox, which is the letterbox effect on the screen. That's what made the troll do its emote, where it's kind of taunting you. And then after 5 seconds, it just turned off global cutscene. Also, we had this camera here that switched to, that's just looking for global cutscene, and as soon as global cutscene is true, then it's a first-person camera with a transition easing. So then as soon as that happens, I believe we have it. Is it in here or is it in the troll?
Where are you looking for?
Okay.
Yeah.
So the rest of everything we did was basically within this troll. We have these goblins that we just set as templates.
Made sure it's just
we made sure up equals world up. And the only other thing we added in here is this thing where we added these to a global object set. And then when they were killed, they were removed from the global object set. Everything else happens within this troll. So you have kind of stage 1. It looks at... Let's see, what is setting it to switch to the next page? When is global stage 1 activated?
That's the door. I'm pretty sure has the countdown timer.
Let's see. Door has...
No, the logic cube, sorry. It's in here after the...
Oh, there we go.
Yep.
Global stage 1 equals true. Bam. You are correct. So when global stage 1 equals true, then that means this guy will switch to the second page. On the second page, he kind of increments the stage, so now he's on stage 1. He always turns towards the hero, so he follows them. He starts it so that his minion counter, the amount of minions he can throw, is 6. And then he throws his first 2 minions. And then as he every time he throws a minion, it decrements his minion counter, because we want to bring it down from 6 to 0. It then looks at sort of how many minions are left alive in the world, and then when there are no minions left alive from these first 2, then he enacts the second wave of minions that continues on while there's less than 4 of them. And then as long as there's less than 4 minions, but the overall counter is greater than 0, he will continue to throw them, and every time he throws one, he'll decrement that minion counter by 1 until it gets down to 0, so he only throws 4. Once all 4 of those are killed then, and also the minion counter 0, then he switches to kind of getting off his platform. So we have this page where he just exactly where he moves and he jumps, and after 1 second, if your stage is equal to 1, he switches to his next page. This is just a default troll attack on the default troll enemy brain. The only thing we changed here is we made it so that when he's hit by an attack, then this Boolean return to platform becomes true, and when that Boolean is true, then it switches to the next page. And on the next page, we set it up so that he just moves towards the logic cube. When he detects there's terrain in his way, he jumps to kind of jump over the terrain to get back up to his platform. And then as soon as he's not moving, basically once he's kind of gotten there, then it runs all this and brings him back to stage 1, which runs again, kind of loops again the exact same way. Then
Except at the top, it will increment the stage.
Right. That's a very good point. At the top, it increments, so now it's stage 2. So on this page, we see that when stage is equal to 2, then he switches to this page in rage behavior, which is the same kind of troll behavior. And the only difference that Thomas added here is when he's hit by attack, then he is killed. And that is the code review of this whole thing.
Yeah, we did a lot.
I know.
When you do it, you're like, holy mackerel.
So yeah, feel free to take this, riff on it, make your own mechanics. We only did 2 stages. Every boss should have at least 3 stages. So make your own boss, make your own fun things with this.
Yeah, and in Ensville, you make a good point. Like actually having the goblins that he's throwing like kind of around him, and you can definitely do that. I actually, when I was testing this out, I put goblins like on his back, like a quiver of goblins, basically. They're just sitting in barrels, and he would just grab one, and you could actually animate that pretty well, or he like actually picks one up and then like throws them. So yeah, that's kind of what I was playing around with, and it actually looked pretty cool having the little goblins like on his back.
Yep. So for everyone who missed this, we're gonna have this up on YouTube within the next 24 hours. Great way to review, see how to make your own your own boss battles. We're already over time, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just playing in the background. That's pretty much everything.
Yeah. All right, cool guys.
Yeah.
We will see you on Thursday.
Bye. As I shoot fire.
Create your game as you play? Any Spark can do it. Spark, activate the portals.